So here it is, guys, 2024 Genesis G70. Now this popular sporty sedan has not been redesigned for 2024 model year. However, it does have a few new features. And today, thanks to Ghetto Genesis in Lakewood, Florida, I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to explore it as far as the design, engine, interior technology, and the test drive. And if you like watching videos like this, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. Hit that subscribe button, give me the like, and don't forget to turn on that bell notification ring bell. Now let's get back to this. So here it is, guys. The exterior of this 2024 Genesis G70 is basically the same. Let's take a look at some key features on it. We have the LED headlamps, kind of the double stacks. They also have the daytime running lamps and the turn signals in it. A lot of open spaces in here, a lot of functionality as far as the air pass-through right here at the bottom. Then you have this so typical to Genesis grille. I really like it. The color of it is kind of this smoked chrome, and then right behind here, that's where a lot of technology hides, a lot of sensors. You also have the front view camera, and look at this Genesis logo, nice indented inside of this hood, and it creates this wave behind it, looking pretty cool. I apologize if the car is dirty. There's a lot of pollen in here, and the dealership's car wash was broken, so I couldn't get it cleaned up for you. But overall, a nice and sporty look of this compact, sporty, performance, luxury sedan. Let's take a look what's underneath the hood. And that is a 3.3 liter twin turbo V6, 365 horsepower, 376 foot-pounds of torque. Looking pretty good. It's got this big turbo spelled out on here, GDI, and then you have some extra bracing for that better rigidity and stability of the vehicle. Now you have the hood struts that's holding the hood up and tall, and you have some insulation underneath it. As we walk around this vehicle, you can see it's nice and sporty. This is a rear-wheel drive. Let's take a look at the wheels and tires. Now you have the fully independent suspension, of course. We have the performance tires on it. We have the Michelin Pilot Sport. And as far as the size of it, you have the 225 by 40 on the 19-inch rims. And this is the new design on the rims. You can see the red calipers, the Brembo brakes, with the Genesis logo right there, looking pretty good. You have the functional, air exhaust basically right on the side, again, for that better aerodynamics. And right on the mirror, you have the turn signal. And I like this smoked chrome that's underneath here. You also have the side view camera, and then everything around the windows is in this smoked chrome. Overall, a great looking vehicle. Well, let's check it out. Let's see what's going on in the back. Right here on top, you have the shark fin antenna, nicely sloped glass, and then you have this built-in spoiler in the trunk, looking really good. Double stacked fully LED lights, 3.3T on one side. That's the more powerful engine. Then Genesis spelled out in the middle, and G70 on the other side. If you look down below, you see the reverse lights and the real exhaust, and you have this diffuser, the real diffuser in the color of the vehicle, which is, by the way, the VIK Black, what they call it. You have the rear view camera, and this is where you open your trunk. So power trunk right here. Here's your button to lock it or close it, and you have about 13 cubic feet of cargo space. Not the worst, not the best. And you have the first aid kit, front plate bracket, some floor mats, and underneath here you have the spare tire. Now also the seats can be folded down 60-40 if you need that extra space. Let's start this interior tour in the back here. Looking at this rear door panel, looking pretty good. We have the quilted contrast stitching in red, looking very nice, luxury and sporty. You have some aluminum trim, you have the window control, speaker at the top, speaker at the bottom, and then you have the Genesis on the door sill. It is pretty tight in there. I'm going to attempt to sit in the back seat, but it is a compact sedan. So let's take a look and see what else we have. The seats are definitely leather covered, so you have this quilting and the contrast stitching right in the middle. They're nicely profiled. You have this armrest that pulls open right here in the middle with the additional cup holders, and right in the middle you have your own vents. You also have the USB Type-C ports, and you have this big bump right here in the middle. That's where the drive shaft is, basically, for the rear-wheel drive. You can also adjust the front seat from the back, move it up, so if you are sitting behind the passenger, you can actually move them up a little bit. Well, let's see if I can fit inside here. Oop, pretty tight. Okay. Yes, Definitely not the most space. I'm 6 feet tall, or almost 6 feet tall. This seat is adjusted to my regular driving position. I'd be really uncomfortable behind me if I was driving. I can definitely adjust this passenger seat, move it forward for a little bit more room. But just keep in mind, this is a compact sedan. However, I did feel more comfortable in both the Mercedes C-Class and the BMW 3 Series. Let's listen to the sound of the closing door right here. Boom. Nice and solid. And let's see what's going on right here in this front door panel. So in addition to what we've seen in the back, we have the memory seats 1 and 2. We have the Lexicon branded stereo. We have the window mirror lock controls. A little bit more storage down here. And of course you have the Genesis logo on the door sill. You have multiple adjustments for the seats, including the bolster and the lumbar. And the seats looking very nice and sporty. You have some polished aluminum, you have the quilted stitching, and then let's see what's going on in the pedal box. All nicely aluminum and rubber. On the left hand side of the steering wheel, we have the dimmer gas tank release and the trunk release, and this steering wheel is tilt and telescoping. This is a power adjustment. Here's the interior of this 2024 Genesis G70. This is the top of the line trim, and let's see what we have. Overall, I really like this interior. It feels nice, sporty, and luxurious. On the door inlays right here, you have this quilted contrast stitching looking really good. You also have some of the aluminum trim, Lexicon stereo. Scrolling up here, you have the vents, and then right on top, you have some contrast stitching, and that continues basically through the entire vehicle. 10.25-inch screen for the infotainment system. You have the head-up display, and then let's take a look at the steering wheel. I really like it. Now, this is the right size. I mean, it's not too big, not too small. It has that golf ball texture right on the side, thicker in the right places, feels good to the touch. You have the contrast stitching on the inside. You also have the contrast stitching right in the center here. Kind of satin Genesis logo, really like it. Then you have a whole bunch of buttons. Now on the left hand side you have the cruise control, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. Then you have your menu buttons, and then of course you can go up and down and select with the middle one. Then on the right hand side you have the mode and the start button. Both of them can be customized and assign different functions to it. And you have the up and down again for the menu, and then on the right hand side you have the volume, mute button, phone, and the voice control. And behind here we have the pedal shifters. Now it's an 8-speed automatic transmission. Let's see what's going on in the instrument cluster. And that's where I know a lot of people were hoping for some changes to come. Now we still have this old style instrument cluster on the left hand side. We have the analog speedometer with the analog fuel gauge. On the right hand side, this is a digital screen, but we still have this analog style tachometer. Now the only place that you can control something is right here in the middle. And as I'm going through the feature, I'm going to tell you what they are, so you can put the navigation in here. And here's a bunch of options. Here's your trip. Then you have the tire pressure, you have the engine temperature, some other data from the engine, oil temperature, torque, turbo, and then you could select more content if you wanted to. So that's pretty much what's going on in the instrument cluster. Kind of wish that Genesis updated it. I guess a lot of people were waiting for it, because they definitely do have the technology. You can see it in their other models, also on the Hyundai and Kia. You know, you also had the blind spot assist, blind spot monitoring system. This is one of my favorite features. This is a safety feature. Depending on which way you turn, you see that it shows you the camera from the right or left mirror, basically showing what's going on in there. I kind of wish that it was updated to a full digital screen, but again, I mean, this is not something that would deter me from buying this vehicle. Now we have the 10.25-inch screen. A lot of their smaller vehicles, even in the Hyundai and Kia classes, have the 12.3-inch screen, so that's kind of falls short of that too. But I do like this interface, this home screen right here. Look at the coloring of it. Kind of the Sophia, more elegant. So, you know, of course you have the built-in navigation system. Go back to home screen, navigation, menu, phone projection. Let's see what's going on here. Contact the phone, connect the phone that supports Android Auto, Apple CarPlay using an approved USB cable. That's, you know, kind of a minus in my book, just because most of their vehicles right now switch to the wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You have the voice memo, you can record the short voice message. It's climate control. Let's see what's going on here. That's one way of controlling it. Kind of gives you that nice, you know, interface here, and then you can control the temperature. You can set it up to auto control the different fans or vents that the air is coming out of, etc. I'm going to show you where else you can control, and that's new for 2024. You have the valet mode, quiet mode, that basically limits the output of the rear speakers, HD radio data. Radio, let's see what we have as far as that. I'm going to turn that down, but we have the AM, FM, Sirius XM, basically that's what the radio, and then you can control different media from here. Sounds of nature, so we can listen to that lexicon stereo. It definitely gives you a lot of depth as far as the sound. I mean, it sounds really good. You have the QLS reference here. You can turn that on or off. Well, let's go back and to the main menu here. Click the home button in case you get lost. You also have the setup button. You can that's where you can assign some of the functions to the buttons, like we've seen on the steering wheel using this option. So custom button, we have one on navigation on steering wheel, and the buttons up and down, volume tune knob, climate touchscreen. You can adjust the intensity of it. So you can assign on the steering wheel to any of these options: reject, end call, change hands-free calling service, privacy mode, voice memo, home, map reroute, cancel route, radio media on off, quiet mode, and each of them have some different settings that you can assign to it. So you can play around with it if you get one. And definitely a lot of features here. You have the connected services. You also have the ability to connect the digital Genesis key, notifications, and then go back to the screen. One more thing to check here is, of course, the rear view camera. Look how tight we are here. Now it gives me an audible alarm that I'm getting close to the vehicle behind me. You also have the trajectory lines. Good quality camera. It takes up the entire screen, and then we have several different angles that we can see from. And as far as the settings, I believe you can even turn off that sound. Let's see. No, the audible looks like it's still going to be there. You can just turn on and off the trajectory lines. Let me put it back in park and then scroll down here. This is where you start the vehicle, and then you have a set of buttons: power, volume, knob, map, navigation. Here's another custom button: seek, track, radio, media, setup, tune on the other side. And that's what's new for 2024. They changed this. So this is now a TFT screen with the different haptic feedback. And that's where you can control your temperature. That's where you can control your fan speed, etc. So you can see I'm adjusting the temperature. Now you have the heated, ventilated seats. You have the heated steering wheel. You can sync it, unsync it, however you want to do it. Put it in the auto mode, turn it off. Air recirculating button on the other side, and the window defrost button right here at the bottom. You have the 12-volt regular power adapter, USB Type A. Again, most of the places go with the USB Type C, so this one's kind of behind. You have the wireless charging pad. This is your controller as far as the gear shifting. So traditional style, put it in reverse, put it in drive, put it in park. Cup holders, then that's where you change the different drive modes. I'm going to show you that, how that affects the instrument cluster, if any. You have the parking sensors, auto hold. You have your parking camera and your electronic parking brake, and then you can turn off your traction control off. So drive modes, let's take a look and see what's going on. So eco, comfort, sport. That one tightens up the bolsters. Sport Plus turns off traction control, as you can see. And that's it. And we can go to the custom mode. You can, design it to your liking. So these are the drive modes. Not much changes on the instrument cluster. Well, let's go back to the middle console. And that you can open. Gives you a little bit more storage, USB Type C. Up on top of the mirror, you have the home link system. 3 different devices can be controlled through here. Sunglasses holder, SOS. You have the Genesis connected services. And then you have the LED lights, and that's where it controls your regular sunroof. Tilt and slide. Open it up. Gives you that nice windscreen on the interior of this vehicle. And this one also has this nice premium micro suede headliner. And let's close the shade. Now, this is the interior of this 2024 Genesis. The only thing that I would like to see upgraded really is this instrument cluster. That would be really nice to see. Of course, before we take it for a spin, let's talk about the pricing. This particular one is $55,600. This is the G70 rear-wheel drive 3.3T Sport Prestige. So it's almost fully loaded, with the exception there's no all-wheel drive in here. So the G70 starts at $41,500. That's, of course, is with the 2.5 liter engine. Still a nice engine, 300 horsepower, 311 foot-pounds of torque, and that's a rear-wheel drive. All-wheel drive, you spend another $2,100 at $43,600. That's, of course, those prices are without the destination at $11,995. And then you can go for the Sport Prestige option at $4,200, and then we can go to the Sport Advanced rear-wheel drive, the one that I have right now, or Sport Prestige, $49,950. And then we have an all-wheel drive at $52,050. Let's take it for a spin. Hey guys, we're trying something different as far as the point of view recordings. This is the first time. I hope this is something that you're gonna enjoy better than on my regular videos. If not, let me know and we're gonna adjust it. So first of all, it feels really good to be in this vehicle. It feels sporty, right? Right now I'm in the regular mode. I'm actually gonna flip it into Sport Plus mode. I can feel that the bolsters adjusted, so definitely a little bit stiffer ride, a little bit louder on the inside here, but nothing really too crazy as far as that. A few nice turns. Unfortunately, I can't do much acceleration here in this park road, but once we get on the open road, we're going to see how this vehicle performs. I don't know if we're going to be able to do a regular 0 to 60. It's a brand new vehicle. It's got 22 miles on it, so we're not going to beat on it. And right here in this park, we can't really go more than 15 miles, so I'm right there, close to it. Let's see, the ride quality is pretty stiff. It's nice. It's holding on to the gears a little bit longer in this sport mode. Not bad as far as the road noise, and we definitely have a decent visibility. Let's slow down here a little bit, and then let's accelerate from rolling. And there you go. It's got a nice pickup, nice speed. Well, let's turn around. Let's see the turning radius here. Alright guys, we're stopped here. Let's see the acceleration. Nice. Got it up to about 60 in no time. Nice, smooth twin turbo. You can definitely feel the power on it. This is the rear-wheel drive, so it's push rather than pull. I like it. I like the way it handles. It's about 4.9 seconds, I believe, is 0 to 60 on this one, so it's not as fast as Mercedes-Benz or BMW, but it's up there, definitely. It's also thousands of dollars less expensive than the BMW or Mercedes C43. I'm talking about the BMW M340, not the M3. That would be a lot more money and a lot more power, but the M340 and the Mercedes-Benz C43. Now the Mercedes-Benz C43, they went with the 4-cylinder 2-liter engine. Still got 402 horsepower. I'm not sure if that's the way I like it, but this V6 feels really nice and powerful. So let me know, guys, if you like this vehicle or not. What would you like change? I think the only change that I would like to see really is this digital instrument cluster. I think that would definitely, in this time and age, most of the vehicles have it. So Genesis has the technology to put it in. I'm not sure why they're not doing it. Maybe they're waiting for the full redesign on this. I think it's priced right. I think it looks great, and I like it. Let me know what you think about it. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video is helpful. I hope you learned one or two things, and if you did, I've done my job. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give me a like, and turn on that bell notification ring bell. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.